say we saw this coming. Took a little bit longer. This was like someone being on life support and just literally you just unplug the life support and basically they just still the brain just still going, keeping everything else alive on there, and now it's finally coming to the end on there. And what we're talking about is Moviepass. But before we start, thank you for tuning in to Man with the Show. Hit subscription, hit like. We do appreciate on there. You, the viewers, very important to us week to week, day to day. So, it's pretty much about, I would have to say about 99% official. Moviepass has shut down, if you haven't noticed it. That was as of Saturday morning, if you didn't know, because they did try to notify everybody. If you don't know what Moviepass is, it was basically you paid a monthly fee and you got to see whatever movie you wanted to see. And there were a lot of questions with this company. Basically, they were a parent company. Their parent company, Helos and Mathis, who ran them. There were a lot of questions how they were able to charge this much and pay off the movie theaters and turn a profit. I mean, I can't see how, a lot of people question on how they made money, because it couldn't. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, it was down to about $10 a month. If the average movie cost about at least $12, and if this person saw at least 3 movies, I mean, that the numbers were never right. I mean, how did Lowe's make money? How did And literally for a long time, it was like Moviepass was hemorrhaging money. I mean, literally, they were just really hemorrhaging a lot of cash, and then they had to take loans and payouts and stuff like that just to keep going. And back last time I discussed this, I gave them until at least September, what was it, last year. I'm surprised they made it to this year, this far. Because basically, when you have a company that just literally just practically almost giving away money and not just sitting there just trying to figure out, how can we make money off of this? And, you have everybody else telling you, you're not making money. You're just literally hemorrhaging. And you have other companies that are creating the same type of pass subscriptions, working better than them. And this was just a real laugh. You had at least 3 million subscribers, and that's about 5% of the tickets sold in the United States. And I mean, they were hemorrhaging, what was it, around 21 million a month. And like I said, the numbers weren't there. And I think there was so many people that had Moviepass on death watch for quite some time. Like I said, I gave it until the end of last summer for them to die out. I know they increased their price point. I think it was about the average price for Netflix. They got them up to about $15 on there, but I don't think it was just going to hold. It just literally was not going to hold for this company. Now, some people say it's undetermined, that it's still undetermined. I think they're done. They just literally finished. If you shut down your service, unless you're going to sell it to another company that literally is going to have to reboot the whole thing over again and start from scratch, you're not going to get the system back running up and again. And I know a lot of people is pissed out there because they'll probably may have just paid their monthly, and they're probably not going to see that. Not going to see that at all. I can understand, people looking for, cheap way to go to the movie theaters and stuff like that. I've always said we're going to pay that full price. We're going to end up paying full price. We're not going to see on there, whereas, people there's going to be 2 categories. that people are going to run to the theaters to see, especially the big stuff on there. And some of the independent, depending on where you are in the country, like in New York. One thing great about New York, and I'll tell you this, are the art houses. And the art houses, they do fill up pretty good, especially on a Saturday, Sunday. And, there's some independent films out there that are some great films. They're well made on there. I saw some great ones. I saw one called The Proposition and another one called Hard Candy. Very good movies. Very well done. And, if it wasn't for those art houses, they wouldn't be there. Those, I think, will stick around a little bit longer than everything else. The drive-in movie theater, I think there's still the amount that is still left in the U.S., I think that's going to stay steady on that because there are still some people that get out that way. The main big multiplexes. A lot of the big blockbusters, those are the ones that just literally, that's what's making the gravy for a lot of these movie theaters. And any kids movie. Those in-between movies, you get, that are action, drama, stuff like that. They're just a little bit, depending on which title it is, they're just a little bit of what is it, chump change? As they say, chump change in the pocket. I haven't used that word, chump change, in a while. But I see the multiplexes starting to shrink back down to the single plexes again, but not to a single. I think you won't see larger than maybe five theaters, maybe. That big 20-plexer or 10-plexers. I think those are going to be on the way out. They're going to be shrinking these theaters because the cost level is just it's high. It is high. It is high to make a movie, unless Hollywood starts to sit back and says, "Listen, we're spending too much money on these movies," and not because they're big, extravagant stuff like that. There are ways we can cost cut. If you look at guys on YouTube, I've seen some productions on YouTube that outshine some of these big major productions. And there's some independents that they didn't spend much at all. And I hawk back on this. The biggest example is the movie The Blair Witch Project, the original Blair Witch Project. Not the newer one, the original. The original, this came out in 1999. It cost $60,000 budget. $60,000. Okay? And I'll repeat this one more time. $60,000 budget. It grossed worldwide $248 million. That's a lot of money, folks. That's a lot of money that goes back into the producers and actors' hands on there. Because basically you've created a movie, for, very inexpensive. Equipment is not as expensive as it used to be. If you're talking about Panavision cameras and stuff like that, yeah, all that stuff is still expensive. But there are plenty of cameras out there, plenty of them out there that does a great job for cameras. 6K, 8K cameras that are, marginally priced and will produce a fantastic product in the end. Editing wise, wow, this company alone, we use DaVinci. DaVinci is fantastic. DaVinci Resolve. We just went full 16, version 16 finally. And it is a fantastic product to edit with. I haven't done film on it yet. From what I understand, the shading is phenomenal when you're working with a film project. I mean, you had another guy online did a Darth Vader project, and it cost him, $100,000, something like that, $100,000, and it looks fantastic for $100,000. Could you imagine if he he was budgeted out for a full-length movie, say they gave him about $500,000, what kind of movie could he produce for $500,000? You know, and the movie would probably gross. But see, that's the problem, and then that brings back the Moviepass. You got people out there, you know, what's the old saying? Greed is good. But the thing about it is that you don't understand the greed. And you just literally just hemorrhaging, you're just throwing money left and right. And Hollywood does the same as well. This is why we have a shit show as far as movies. We have a crapshoot when it comes to getting a movie, having a movie pass to go see these movies finally, that to make it affordable for us to go. Then you throw limitations. You know, you can't see this movie, you can't see that movie, which leaves you a limitation of the type of movies you can go see. And you might have seen all those movies already. So then again, you can't use the movie pass. So it just sits there. So comment below. Tell me, is Moviepass finally in the grave? Can we throw the last pieces of dirt right on top of it and just be done? Or is it going to resurrect like the living dead and just come back and haunt us again one day? So don't forget, we're on mindsandgab.com. Don't forget to check us out there. Hit that subscription. Hit that like. Thank you for tuning in to Man with the Show on Q2Cast TV.